Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, tremendous thundering applause. Thank you. You can sit down. Sit down. No. Fine. Yeah. Aww. What kind of ending is that? Oh, good morning, folks. It is Thursday, September 21st, 2023. Today is the first day of autumn. Actually, tonight at 7:20, is the equinox begins. Autumn begins at 7:20 tonight. Summer ends. Last few hours of summer, and for me, that's always a bummer. But today, and specifically at 7:20 p.m. when the equinox starts, is my anniversary, my 15th anniversary. 15 years ago tonight at 7:20, at exactly the time of the equinox starting, I married my wife on our beach. Kind of a romantic thing. She's still asleep. And we don't really have big plans for the anniversary celebration, but I will tell you this: she bought me a car. Fucking A. Last week has been like brutal on me with the band van getting to the gigs and stuff, and my wife took pity on me and bought me a car. So this is my anniversary present. She got me a new car, and I got her so far nothing. I was gonna get her a card. I don't think that's gonna suffice. I'm not really sure what to do. I can't match that. I don't know. I got you a card. I don't know. But anyway, today we will be hearing from comedian Sam Bloomstone, who is a New York-based comedian. Generally works New York and up. Meaning doesn't come to Long Island much. Northern New Jersey, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, that kind of stuff. Anyway, he's a very animated guy, and we'll get to meet him somewhere around 10:15. Robert Taylor is in Las Vegas for the World Series of Comedy, whatever. It's not baseball, it's comedy. There's no World Series in comedy. I guess there is a World Series in comedy. Anyway, he's out there. So I'm not sure he's going to be making it to the big program today. But we do have Willie, and we do have football picks, and we do have nonsense. Got plenty of nonsense. We've got nonsense coming out our ass. Oh, that's not nonsense. That's something else. No wonder I don't like it. Anyway, Willie is here already in the morning. Good morning, Willie. Are you
Good
muted?
morning. Good morning.
Your mic is really always a little bit louder than me and the guests. If you could,
Do you
yeah.
want me to turn it down? I mean,
And
I don't know how to
if
turn it down.
just that's fine. Just move it a little further away from your
Yeah,
face.
yeah, I can like stretch it out. Is that
That
good?
that's cool. Yeah, no big deal. But I noticed that in doing some of the editing last
Sure,
night, I
yeah.
had to do some what do you call it? Compression. Man, I'm out of it. I am. You know, I had another show last night, and I was dragging it through the show. And the show was about AI. A book about this guy wrote a book about AI and how it could lead to the end of the world, leading for just a handful of people trying to restart humanity. And I was dragging it through the whole thing. It was a very low energy thing. The guy was a little bit, I hate to say older because he's probably my age, but he seems like he's my age. Anybody who seems like they're my age feels old to me.
Right, right.
I
Because
can't
you're
be,
such a youthful example.
it's fucking ironic, but when I look at people at my gig, I think, wow, who are all these old people? And then I was like, oh, I went to school with them. Um, But I don't know. I don't feel their age when I look at them. In my head, I'm not that, but I guess I am. I mean, people will look at me and think I'm old. Anyway, very low energy, dragging it through the whole thing. But then I have to edit and still keep posting stuff. So I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning working on crap.
I mean,
So
I took like an hour nap.
yeah. Well, good
I
for
went.
you.
I tried to sleep. I actually fell asleep watching Birdcast with Jackie on it. It's out, by the
I
way.
know it's not. I shared it on Twitter. I have not watched it. How long is it? Is it
It's a
unedited?
little over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 3 minutes, I think.
Okay, so he did chop it down just a little bit,
I
but
mean, just a little. Yeah, I'm sure
did you?
but like, and I read all the and here's the other thing, bro. Like at least an hour or so ago, it already had like 11,000 views, bro.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
within like 20 minutes, it had 5,000 views.
yeah, that's so cool.
That's so
And there was a
fucking.
lot of really good. There was a lot of really good feedback in the comments as well.
I am so jealous of 20 minutes to get 5,000 views. I don't get 5,000 views,
Right?
in a month. Uh, so
Yeah.
anyway,
No, I noticed that like I'll see something like that on Facebook or whatever. I'll see like, a celebrity or somebody has posted something 20 minutes ago and it'll already have 100 some comments and like a couple thousand reactions. And I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and it's so weird that like I find it odd that that's the sort of thing I pine for.
Well,
like I would probably come in my pants if that happened to one of my Facebook posts. I'd probably jizz
wow,
uncontrollably.
that seems a little excessive, but okay. Whatever. Um, what
I love it.
bothered me was, and this is petty, jealous nonsense, but Jackie said, best time I ever had on a podcast. Now he's done this show 15 times. He always tells me how much he loves it. Best
I mean,
time I ever had. You don't even know Bert. I come to your house.
I love you. I love you
What,
so much.
what are we doing wrong? I don't know.
Right. No, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I do.
So yeah, Robert Taylor's out in Vegas. I'm not sure if he's going to make it today. I haven't really heard from him other than yesterday. Robert Taylor was trending on Twitter. It wasn't him. I guess some some soccer player or something. But I posted that he was trending, and he said, "Nah, that's got to be a different Robert Taylor."
right.
But I don't know if he's going
I
to
mean,
make
that's
it.
probably a pretty common name, actually,
Oh,
when you think about it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. My father knows best. When you're too young for that, but in the
I mean,
50s.
I know of the show, but I'm
Well,
because that's an old black and white, isn't it? On Nick at Night or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I want to say Marcus Welby, MD, was Robert Taylor too. I don't know if you remember that show, but that was in the 60s or 70s. I don't know. I don't know.
No.
Ian
I
just sent me a
remember.
picture. I want to see if I
Oh,
can share
there
it.
there was one thing on the Burt cast that I'm really surprised that Jackie doesn't. So he was saying that like where he lives at, his neighborhood is like a bunch of presidential streets, right?
Right.
And like street names with presidential associations. But he said that he lives on Quincy, and he's like, there's no President Quincy. And I was like, yeah, but it's John Quincy Adams was a president.
Yeah, but I don't think that counts because they're all last names. They wouldn't come with Quincy was his middle name.
I mean, yes, but I mean, that's certainly, I mean, I'm sure that's got to be the association. And I bet you that Quincy is probably one block away from Adams. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. No,
You
no,
don't
I
think
think
so? Oh, yeah, I don't know
no.
how they fall or whatever, but yeah.
You know, I don't know if you know this, but he thought he was related to Teddy Roosevelt. He grew up down the block from Teddy Roosevelt's summer home,
Oh,
Sagamore Hill.
wow.
That used to be like a school kid trip that they made us take every year
Oh, I
to
bet. I
Sagamore Hill.
bet.
Yeah, to see where Teddy Roosevelt slept through the presidency. Like he would take naps. No president does that now. He would go out on his porch and sleep the day away in the summer. That was the president's job. It was a different time.
Yeah,
Presidents
things are a
didn't do that.
little calmer then.
Yeah. I'm trying to share this screen. Sportsbook. No, it's not there. What the hell? Not now. Okay, not sharing that. Ian just sent me a photo I wanted to share, and I blew it. I don't know. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Where? Oh, here it is. That's it. It looks like he's watching us on big plasma TV. How about that?
Nice.
Yeah, we're on television. Wow.
Ooh, yeah. No,
I'm a TV.
that's actually kind of because you can watch YouTube on TV and stuff. That's something. That's something. Because I mean, listen, I got ego problems and stuff like that. So like, and I always watch my stuff back. But you think I don't want to watch it on the television rather than my phone? Of course I do. I
Right.
want to see myself on television. Like, and so, but my wife always kind of laughs at me because
We were on Roku for the first 8 months of this, but then you know what? I could do that again. It's a really you got to set up this. They want to if you're going to be live streaming, they want you to be live streaming 24/7. So I have to figure out a bucket of content that I could just keep on all the time. That's a lot of work. If you got or either that or it can be on demand. You can't. But if it's live streaming, it's got to be live streaming 24/7. If I had enough comedians to take a show like as soon as this one ends and keep it going 24/7, that would be great. But I can't,
right.
to supply 24/7 content, just one guy. It's difficult doing 2 hours in the morning and 1 hour one Wednesday night of the week. So anyway, Facebook. I know you're on Facebook. That's your uh, prime social media outlet. But the hackers have gone crazy. They're trying to hack MindDog TV. I'm getting like in my inbox in Facebook a support letter that looks like it's from Facebook saying your page has community violations. We need you to address it right now. You click it and it takes you to a deviant, scam page.
Right.
And friends of mine got their page hacked because they fell for it. When you go for it, they ask you to change your password. She changed the password. Now those
Right.
people own her fucking
Right.
existence. So
Right.
I don't know. Facebook has to get their shit together with the hacker stuff, or that platform is just going to go away. And nobody's going to keep using it if everybody keeps getting hacked. And
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely noticed an uptick in the people on my feed that, like put out a post, hey, I got hacked or whatever. And I mean, I got one of those just the other day. The Meta one that you're talking about. Matter of fact, I think it was last night. And when I first looked at the message, I was just like, oh crap, and I better look into this. But then I was like, there was something strange about just the way their header looked. You
right.
know what I mean? And so I like went back and I looked at it, And I was just like, I don't think that's really from Facebook. And then I just left it alone because the other thing I thought about is I was like, I know that there's nothing that I put out recently that they're going to be up my ass about. You know what I mean? So,
Well, I don't know that because for me, and because every fucking video every day gets a copyright claim on it, and I have to go back and dispute it and say no, it's all my original material. Whatever it is, turn on your radio and the morning music, all that stuff. That's all me. But for some reason, UMG Systems puts in a claim, then I have to dispute it, and the next day they release it and say, "Oh yeah, it's not ours, it's his." Like, how this has been going on for 5 years? How long does it take you to figure out that that's not your music? It's my music. I
right.
mean, you can look anywhere. If you find another song that sounds like "Turn on Your Radio," I will be shocked, but I'd be happy too because I will shoot a
They
fucking
strike
hole.
it for our closing song.
For that, for the beginning song, sometimes it has happened quite a few bit. They will identify a time code in the middle, and I'm just going, and 14 seconds of me stumbling through, and that's a copyright claim, and I'm like, I'm just searching for fucking words.
Dude, no way.
Yeah,
That's not a real thing.
No, it is a real thing. Lots of times. I mean, I'd say more than 100 times that's happened. And it's just
You know what? They're mad at you, and I'll tell you the copyright claim is on. It's on George Carlin for using your own words.
Yeah.
Do you have your own words? I've been using the same ones everybody else has been using.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about, before we get to the news, this Hassan Minaj guy and the situation with him. I'm kind of modifying my stance because people, they're saying he wasn't just lying to be funny or exaggerating stories to be funny. He was exaggerating stories to make it seem like he and people of his race, I don't know, religion, whatever he's talking about, are more oppressed than they're not, and making up stories about police brutality that never happened and stuff like that, and telling them as they were true. In other words, saying, true story. Now, is just. I understand that comedians have license, but you don't want to incite people and think there's enough of that with phony videos going on and people that fabricate shit just to piss us off. You don't need comedians their job is to make us laugh and sometimes make us think and provoke us, on subjects, but not to make us angry and make us want to fight each other and, more divide us. So I'm not completely on the side of, and I'm never not at all on the side of censor him, but I get where people are angry at what he's doing.
Sure.
You were gonna say something.
I think that I know that for myself, I do this quite a bit, but I learned it from other comics. If I say true story, it's definitely not a true story. If I'm on stage, if I'm on stage and the first thing I say about the bit that I'm about to start is true story, fabricated as hell. Like
you did it.
Like that's kind of, because like you say true story in the beginning because what you're going to explain is like the whole time that, like, as the story progressively gets worse, you're just like continually in your mind going, there's no way this is true, there's no way this is true, you know what I mean? And that's it, like, so to me, true story definitely doesn't mean true story, especially on stage, because I think by and large most comedians use it in the way that I just explained, because I don't know where I picked that up at. I can't really remember if it was a book or a class or whatever, but it was like definitely a trick that I learned to like take the crowd more on the ride. You know what I mean?
Well, granted that I am not stand-up comedian, but the stories I tell and they're not necessarily the funniest stories, but they're weird and I stick to at least what I believe and how I remember it to be 100% true. I don't like the the no leg story, the people playing for the people with no legs, the getting hijacked by Chinese families when I was 3 years old, coming
Right.
home with my family in jail when I was 14 years old. All those stories, just about every story I tell in context of trying to be entertaining and telling that story, they're 100% true. I don't embellish any of them all. I do lie in my personal life, like,
Right.
wait, what were you doing before? I wasn't getting high. Um,
Right.
but I won't do it in terms of that. But I'm not a stand-up comedian, so that I don't know if that that matters that much. But
Right.
when I'm telling those stories, and people have definitely accused me of lying. I've gotten hate mail with saying you're full of shit. You're just a bullshit artist. I think we all lie at times, but
Right.
those stories are absolutely, verbatim as I remember them. If I get my ex-wife has corrected me on some dates and things like that, and when she said like that's not the timing is way off on that, but it's how I remember it. It's not like I'm trying to I'm not making anything up or
Right.
embellishing it.
You're just kind of misremembering a little. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's been a long 64 years, man.
Well, and so, but like, I think that for myself, one of the things, and we talked about this yesterday, um, is that usually if I say true story, what I'm really those are usually the times where I'm taking multiple stories and
Right.
making them one big story.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, everything I'm saying might be true and something that happened, but it didn't happen in the time or way or manner that I'm saying it did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are you familiar with Ralph Dice Clay, who you used to call it? He's a friend of mine from kindergarten. He used to call the program a lot. Hasn't been on much. Are you
Is
familiar
it
with him?
is he relation to Andrew?
No, no. Andrew's Silverstein or something like that. He's not really Dice Clay. That's not his name, but Carl and Jamie gave him that name because he sounds like Dice Clay when he calls in on the phone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Anyway, yesterday, while we were doing the show, he kept texting me. Paul Simon is on with Howard Stern. Great interview. And I was like, I'm doing my show, and I have invited Paul Simon on this program to talk about his latest album, and I believe that eventually he will be coming on. So that's a great thing. But
That's
he's
awesome.
texting me about Howard Stern, and I'm like, I'm getting pissed off. I don't know, you didn't even notice this, but while Dave Landau was on, I'm getting fucking texts every 3 seconds about, oh, a great interview. You got to listen to this. Like, I'm doing my show. After the show, I
What a
called him up.
dick.
What a dick! This is my friend. I'm on the air. He knows I'm on the air, and he wants me to listen to Howard Stern.
And yeah, and he's sending you somebody else's morning show stuff. Yeah, no, that's some real fucking
So
wow. I got frenemies like that too, man. I do.
after the show, I called him up and I was like, I don't need to listen to Howard Stern. First of all, people talk about what a great interviewer Howard Stern is. I think he sucks. Oh, you don't know. It was a great interview. I was like, well, I said, you know what? I do my own show. I had a great show this morning. I had 2 comedians on. He goes, you got a lot of comedians. I don't like comedians, man. I'm funnier than them. I was like, you know what? Everybody thinks they could do that job. No, I know I could.
Right.
I make people laugh all the time. I said that making your fucking friends laugh when you're stoned and stupid is totally different than getting up in front of a room full of strangers on a consistent basis and being able to make them purposely laugh and do it in a way that seems natural to them, but it's
Right.
all structured. Oh no, I know I could do it. It's so easy. I know it's and I was just like I said everybody thinks that. No, I know. Everybody knows. Everybody knows they could be a comedian, and everybody sucks. I hung up on him. It's so fucking arrogant. It bothers me that people, and I know comedians make it look simple. I get that, but I don't think he's alone in that perception that I
No,
could
I think
do
there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people, especially more and more nowadays, more and more for sure.
that. Yeah,
But and like here's the thing, and because I had the weird, I had the odd experience of doing really well my first time on stage, but like I didn't know what it was really going to be like until I did bad. You know
right,
what I mean? And like, can you take that? That to me, that's the hardest part.
yeah,
Is being able to take it, like being able to take them, like you deliver it, it's not there, and they're just looking at you. And can you take that moment and then be funny? Because
right,
that moment right there, like it is just natural that you want to crawl under a fucking rock. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, like,
Well,
oh, I'm doing, you guys aren't feeling, and the fight or flight kicks in, and am I gonna fight to get this crowd back, or am I gonna, yeah.
right.
That's where the rubber meets the road, in my opinion.
Well,
Is how are
yeah.
you going to react when the crowd doesn't like you?
Ralphie, the rubber already met the road long ago for him, as far as I'm concerned, because he on my very last radio show on WNYG, 1440 AM in Babylon, New York, I had a wedding to do, and I was going to get there late, and Ralph thought he could be a radio host and sub for me. And he had always planned on doing it. I said, "You want to sub for me for the first 20 minutes while I come from the wedding, and then I'll come in and I'll take over the show from there." And he thought, "Oh, great!" He thought he was going to be, the rock star DJ, and really, and I didn't wait 20 minutes. I got there 2 minutes after 11. The show starts at 11. I got there 2 minutes after 11. And he was already in fucking panic mode, freezing, scared. And there was no crowd in front of your face there. You're just in front
Right,
of a microphone. And he was
right.
already in full-blown sweating, panic. I don't know what to do. So,
Yeah.
he should have learned his lesson then that you think you can do stuff, but you can't. Just because people do it professionally. I wasn't like super for I was this. I was this. I am this. You want to do the news first or picks first?
It's up to you. Up to you. I don't care either way. I'm good.
Let,
I'm prepared for either one.
let's do the news.
I
Now
do have my picks up first. So I mean, that is my first page.
wow. Um, we'll do the news first. Now you sent me a picture of a car.
I did.
All right.
I
Is
did.
that
That'll be
is
in
that
there.
oh that'll be in there? Just say when you want to say. Bring up that pic or something. What is
Um,
to those effects?
it'll be the third story.
All right, third story. All right, I know it.
Yep.
Ready? Here goes the. Oh, now the news. And now the news. Yeah, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Unmute. Unmute.
And hello.
Yeah, unmute.
I did.
You know what?
All
I'm
right.
gonna.
From CSNBC.
Yes. Go ahead.
What? Didn't you say it was going to unmute on its own?
It's supposed to. I don't know why it didn't, but yeah, we got to work that out. But this is part of the comic relief, ladies and gentlemen.
It really is. I mean, it has to be because I mean, listen, technology is not my friend. It's just not.
Help wanted producer. Okay, let's go.
All right. Am I doing the news now?
Yes, do the news.
Okay. All right. From CNBC, negotiations will continue today between the Writers Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. They met into yesterday evening and are reportedly close to a deal. However, some sources state that if a deal is not made today, the strike could last through the end of the year. Something that at least Warner Brothers doesn't want to see happen. Its adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation has them anticipating a $300 to $500 million hit. which, if it extends to the end of the year, will go into the billions. And I,
Wow.
for one, am hoping that they conjure up a deal, because it sounds like the next movie from Warner Brothers should star Carl Mann, because they're coming out with The Conjuring Last Rites. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, we
you
should
know,
try and get Carl in that
I
somehow.
just have to say,
Little bit part.
I hope they don't settle ever, because the longer this works, the more chance that people will turn to us to watch.
I mean, that's kind of true. That is kind of true. All right. The BBC reports that a Copenhagen court ruled that Danish artist Jens Honning must pay £58,000 or $72,000 to the Knudsen Museum for an art piece they commissioned the artist for. He was given about $77,000 intended to be used within the two art pieces about salaries in Denmark. However, when the canvases were unveiled in 2021, it was discovered that they were blank. The title of Haning's work was Take the Money and Run.
The White
You
Album.
forgot to run, buddy. You forgot to run.
Yeah.
All right. Fortune reports. This is our third story. Fortune reports that the U.S. Sun reports, that's the story, the California-based company Aleph Aeronautics unveiled its Aleph Model A car at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit.
Flying
the
car?
Model A, what was that?
It's a flying car.
It is, yeah. The Model A will be the first flying car prototype not requiring to take off from an airport. It
Ooh.
received a special airworthiness certification from the FFA. CEO Jim Duchovny said, "This is one small step for planes, one giant leap for cars."
And one
You may-
fucking. Okay, I'm sorry. You got
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say there's gonna be some old lady driving this shit crashing into my house,
Right.
falling on my house.
Yeah, you may think that line was just a poor joke for me, but no, that was an actual quote. He said that. This is one small
Wow.
step for planes, one giant leap for cars. Yeah, that's what he said. The
One
all-electric
potential
car.
crash.
Yeah, no. The all-electric car is rumored to have a 200-mile ground range or 100 miles in the air. The top ground speed is only 25 miles an hour, while the top airspeed has yet to be determined. However, one test driver stated it's somewhere in the range of holy fucking shit. The gimbaled cab vehicle is expected to sell for about $300,000 per unit, and it already has over 400 pre-orders for the 2025 release.
Wait, whoa! First of all, that price is less than the high-end Tesla, right? But so
I
it
mean-
doesn't surprise me that a lot of people will buy it. But you don't have to have a pilot's license or anything. You could just.
I'm very interested to see how it's going to end up being regulated. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
I mean,
you don't want just fucking anybody flying around in the sky over your house.
and especially like the story I read, like really touted it as like if you were stuck in traffic, you could just brr and go. And I'm like, that seems like it's definitely going to cause accidents if people just are like, I'm tired of fucking sitting here and they lift up and leave. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't know. It seems shoddy.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah. So and then we got one more story here. Fortune reports. What was that?
One more story.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Fortune reports that Elon Musk Neuralink company is recruiting patients for human clinical trials. The tech company is seeking test subjects who suffer from quadriplegia due to spinal cord injuries or ALS. Right. The goal for the implants is to control cursors and keyboards. However, Musk hopes that this move will move Neuralink closer to providing brain implants that will allow telepathic communication.
Oh,
I think he just wants things to feel more like home. You know what I
well,
mean? He just and Musk did express regret that this development didn't happen sooner, saying, "I just wish Christopher Reeves was still alive. That would have been super, man."
and that's the news.
That's the news. Sorry, I had to. I can't hear quadriplegics without thinking of Christopher Reeves.
Well, that's Superman. All right, get out of my. You get on the wrong side. There you go. First of all, I don't love this whole idea, the Neuralink thing. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. This is what we were talking about last night with the AI, where and this got me banned from YouTube when it was a serious story. So I have to say, it's not a serious story. We're joking here. No, well, Musk is not. Musk is not joking, but this whole idea of merging humans with fucking robotics in some way. If you're putting a chip in somebody's brain, they are no longer human. They're kind of a cyborg. And
I mean, kind of, yeah. I definitely don't want one. I will never take one of those. That's not like.
But
if it becomes a thing that's what you need to function in society, well, I guess I'm going to be on the underground then, because it ain't happening. It's like I just could never do that, because I don't trust them. I don't trust you, y'all. You know what I mean? Like listen, I don't know if you know this, but like most of the people that I was supposed to naturally trust in my life really fucking wrecked that shit.
Yeah. No, I totally human. That's what I was saying last night about AI, is that it's just, if you just take a machine learning, and machines can learn on their own. One thing they're going to learn pretty quickly is that humans are fucked up, and they're going to think, well, that's the natural state that's the way they are, so we might as well be fucked up too. I mean,
in iRobot, that was their whole thing. The whole thing in iRobot was they were trying to protect humanity from itself.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
GD made the same observation that I was going to make, is that you talked about if you're in a traffic jam and you want to get out of it, you'd go fly out of it. But if your ground speed is 25 miles an hour, we can guarantee you're going to be in a traffic jam. You're going to be causing the traffic jam.
Yeah, that's a solid point. Solid point. Yeah.
So yeah, it's all just all so messed up. I don't like this flying car bit one bit either. I mean, I would love to have a flying car. Everybody would love to have a flying car, but I don't trust any of the fucking people that I have road rage about flying. Fuck that. I mean, they're all fucked up anyway. I seen a guy. I was at one of those red lights where you have the green arrow light, and waiting in that lane with the green arrow. The green arrow changed, and this guy was just going slowly, and I was a little bit pissed. I was right behind him. He was going too slow between that. But then this other guy just ran the light as fast as he could, barreled into him. I was like, what the fuck, man? What the hell is going? Do you not even see the red light, or what happened? But so I can't imagine that guy flying. I mean, and whatever you said, holy shit, whatever the speed limit was, the speed map.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really. They don't know what the top speed.
In order to fly, you gotta have some major thrust behind you. So it's got to be doing at least faster than any ground car can do right now. I would think that's my. And there were no wings on that fucking thing, so that's another weird thing about it.
Yeah. So what? It's a gimbaled cab. And so what it does is when you activate it or whatever, like the inside of the vehicle, like kind of remains in the same spot. And then like it, will you put the picture up again real quick? So the passenger side will turn into the right wing, so I don't know. The way they explained it in the article was that it goes up and it like rotates. And then because what you see on the the top is actually a wing,
Wow.
and I'm
Yeah.
guessing there's one on the undercarriage as well.
Well, I'm not ready for one. As I mentioned, now it's my wedding anniversary. My wife bought me a car, and I feel really inadequate. I didn't ask her for a car. Now I know for the next however long I live, I'm gonna have to hear about how she bought me a car
Okay.
anytime.
I,
And
I
now,
can
to be fair, I bought her a car. I bought her a Mustang convertible 10 years ago. Um, but I feel inadequate now, and I don't like saying, I don't like feeling like, wow, you bought me a car. Now here's a card. I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to do to kind of
Sure.
see it?
No, I'm actually really good at this kind of stuff, in my opinion. And actually, I think Danica would probably agree. So um, I think that she bought you that vehicle because she realized that it was something that you really needed. You know what I mean?
I think she wants me to leave. I think she wants me to leave. She's like,
No, I think that
this would be a
I
great
think
thing
she
to go on
wanted
the
to
road
make
with.
your life easier. She wanted to improve your day to day. You know what I mean? Because my
Yeah.
guess is that you have a lot of you've lodged a lot of complaints about how the previous vehicle wasn't like
No,
fulfilling the needs you needed.
just last week when it was given, because I hit a curb and then knocked the muffler off and all that stuff, and then it took forever to get it dealt with in the shop by mechanics and
Sure.
stuff, and I had to rent a U-Haul and all. So I took a huge financial beating on gigs. I ended up losing money on a weekend where I was performing consistently, like from Thursday to Monday, was doing a shitload of gigs, and ended up losing money. I think I took in like $3,500 and paid out like $4,700 or something. It was
Ouch.
ridiculous. So
Ouch.
yeah, it was because of that she did it. But I feel like I don't I don't like feeling indebted. I don't like
Right.
feeling like,
Well, for one, it's you definitely shouldn't feel indebted because I mean you guys are married and she's giving you a gift on your anniversary that expresses how much she loves and cares about you. You know what I mean?
I like Ian's philosophy: just take the car and be happy, old grump. But
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
I think
Especially.
I think it deserves a gestured response. You know what I mean? But I think that it doesn't. I don't overcomplicate it. It's probably like what would make her the happiest is probably way more simple than you might think.
I
You
tell
know
you
what I
what would
mean?
make her really happy is to be in a room with all my friends and say, "I bought him a car." That's what this is.
Recognition.
Yeah. Just like, and then so they can all look at me like, "Oh, a woman bought you a car."
Right. I mean,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't deal with compliments. I don't deal with gifts very well, especially
Well,
expensive gifts.
I'll tell you the best thing that you could do to say that you're happy and thank you and eat her ass. Eat her ass. Just go for broke, man. Eat the ass. Come on.
Hello, yeah, Mazda. Can I take this car back? Uh,
I don't want this car no more.
I don't want
Oh
this
my
car
god.
no more. I don't want this car no
Uh,
more.
I love you
Uh,
so much.
yeah. Oh, so yeah. This is where we are. I don't know. Um, want to get to the football picks? Let's get to the football
Yeah,
picks.
let's do that.
I don't know if Robert Taylor's coming in. I really wanted to talk to him about what's going on out in Vegas. By the way, Ben Frank, who was on this program, I think he won the second round. He's a favorite going into the last round in Vegas. That would be cool if an alum who has been on this program ends up winning the whole World Series of Comedy thing. That would be,
Yeah, no, that'd be really, really cool.
yeah.
I'll try and pay attention and see who it is, and maybe we can send out a feeler right away. You know what I mean?
Maybe we get my bookie to kind of put some odds on Ben Frank winning the whole thing. Uh, Anyway,
I'm sure you can, right? I mean, don't they bet on everything now?
yeah. Can people see this, or am I just wasting my time by putting this up? Because it's got it's got the line there. It's got the teams. Or maybe we should just talk about them, and I can just read it here. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, yeah.
In the chat room,
I
can you
mean, I
read?
can't read that.
You can't read it. No, you have to blow it up full screen. Fuck it. I'm just gonna get rid of that, and I'll watch it. I'll read it off of my other screen here.
Right.
My bookie. My bookie.
Did you notice that there was a straight up pick in this week's lines?
Yeah. That
I was surprised by that.
they know their shit. These bastards. These motherfucking bastards. All right. Why are they doing this? They're giving me Major League Baseball. I don't want Major League. Oh, here you go. NFL.
That's a great observation, Ian.
Yeah. What is this? My bookie has some color scheme, same color scheme as Pornhub. I would
It
not
sure
know
does,
that.
by the way. It definitely does.
Listen, I don't know. Pornhub. Oh. Pornography is bad for you. This is what I know. It's bad for you. It's worse than meth.
I mean, I will say that if I just masturbate naturally, I generally don't hurt my dick. But if I'm masturbating to porn, hurt my dick almost every time. Like, like I don't know if I get more aggressive or what.
The thing about pornography is it fills your head with like ideas about ass. Oh, that looks good. I didn't know. What are you gonna have? I think I'll order ass for lunch. I mean, we don't need to put ideas in people's head. People are fucked up enough without having. And I don't know what the next thing is. What's the next thing? What?
Listen, you can't blame Pornhub for that, because my first porno mag was the October issue of the 1986 Hustler, and I'm still trying to figure out what a couple of those things were. And
Was that with Lorianne? Was that with my friend Lorianne?
I don't know. It did highlight the woman who had the world record for the longest pubes.
Wow. 1979 in Hustler. A girl I went to high school with was featured as the girl next door of the year for Hustler, and all my brother's friends had the book, and I was curious about it. I was like, "What the?" And I was old enough, definitely. I think 78 or something when I was 18 years old. Could have bought it on my own, but I didn't know anything about it. And all these guys were talking about this local girl who was in Hustler, and I went and looked. And I said, "Oh my God!" I sat next to her for like 8 years in school, and she was not. You'd never think that she'd end up. She was the straight A track, smart as a whip. The teacher's pet.
Right. Well, I mean, people have a lot of misconceptions about, there's a lot of different reasons to get involved in that kind of work. It doesn't necessarily, not everyone who does it is some damaged person. Some of them just like doing that.
They're damaged. Everybody is damaged, but their damage isn't the reason that they do that. I think
right. That's what I mean. Yeah. It's not the cause. Yeah.
Right. All right. So the first game, which is tonight, right? Giants against San
Francisco.
Tonight. Yep. And 10.5 points.
Yeah.
I'm picking the 49ers. I hate to go against the Giants, but if I want to win, I got to go. I think that it's going to listen. The Giants lost 40-0 against Dallas. San Francisco is better than Dallas. I'm going with San Francisco.
I'm going with New York. I went with New York.
Really? Well, thank you, but I think that's a loser. I don't know. The Giants somehow last week did better, but they have a history of looking like, okay, we figured it out, because they were losing. So at halftime last week, they were down 20-0. They had lost 40-0 the week before, and at the end of halftime, it was 20-0. They were down 60-0 on the season at that point. And somebody said, well, the halftime speech must have been really amazing. I think they just got lucky. Anyway,
right.
Next, what do we have?
New England and the Jets.
New England and the Jets. Wait a minute. Why am I not seeing the NFL line here? NFL game odds. Okay. New England Patriots on the Jets. Jets are getting 2.5 points.
It's 2.5. It was 3 last night because I did it off of my bookie.
Well, right now it's 2.5.
What the hell? How is
So
that? Okay.
that like lines can change over time, but
Well, I knew that, but
usually by Thursday they're nailed down.
I need to go get my pen. Hang on a second.
No pen.
It's just over here.
Do you have a name for your pen? I would call it Sean. Louis
Yeah,
Penless.
I did my picks last night, and last night the line was
3.
so now it's 2.5.
They figured that 3 is going to be the lock. So what they are figuring, what this tells me is, last night they were assuming the Jets were going to lose by a field goal. No, because that would. I disregard what I just said. I'm an idiot. Just write this down. I am an idiot. I'm gonna. Jesus, I'm gonna go with the Jets, my favorite team. Now, I'm gonna jinx them all fucking year, right? But I'm picking the Jets to outright win this game. Fuck it. That's what I say. Jets to win.
2.5. I'm taking New England.
Yeah, I have a I have a strong feeling that's going to be a loss for me, but I have to take them. Jets. All right, next game is Los Angeles Chargers against Minnesota Vikings. And this is how long I've been not paying attention to football. I never remember when San Diego moved to Los Angeles. Anyway,
I think last season was their first season. I'm pretty sure that when the Raiders moved, so did the Chargers.
Okay.
Those moves took place in the same season.
I wonder if the San Diego people make the drive all the way up to LA to see them now. Because you know what, if people from when the Giants and Jets moved to Jersey, people from here would drive. We still drive to Jersey to go see them. So I mean, I bet you the people are making that drive. All they did was inconvenience their fans. Is the point I'm making? They're just going to have to drive longer. Vikings are giving up 1 point.
So that's not. Home. So that was the one that was a pick last night. That was just a straight pick last night.
That. Right, yeah.
So now the Vikings -1?
Yep.
Golly. Okay.
I'm going to have to take the Vikings because they're home. And listen, you can't – most football games are not decided by 1 point, but you can't win by half a point. So if you're going to win, you're going to win by 1 point at least.
Okay, right. So you took – I got to write your picks down here. You took San Francisco. You took the Jets.
I'm taking the
Vikings. And you're taking the Vikings. Okay.
You not necessarily have to write this down. I can get the transcript, and it'll all be in the transcript. But, it doesn't hurt to write it down. But I just extract the captions in the transcript and see what we said, which is how I know I was perfect the first week except for the Jet game. I won every game except for the Jet game.
All right, Indianapolis and Baltimore.
You know what? This is an interesting game for me because Indianapolis, well, they don't remember, but Indianapolis Colts used to be Baltimore Colts.
And they did, yeah.
It's that there's kind of like Ravens went in and stole their turf. There's a little bit of a grudge match there or something, right? No? Or am I just hopelessly trying to manufacture drama where it doesn't belong?
No, I like that idea.
The Colts are getting 7.5 points.
7.5. See, all these lines
they all changed since last night.
Not all of them, but three. So 3 out of the 4 we've talked about so far.
I think I'm going to take Indianapolis.
I am also taking Indianapolis.
I think they will lose, but not by 7.5 points. Denver and Miami. Now, this is a really nobody gives a shit about game. you know who gives a shit? Chad Hansen, who's out in Denver. He gives a shit. Denver is getting 6.5 points. It's at Miami. I don't know about this. I'm going to take Miami. Giving up 6.5 points.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Miami.
All right.
I mean,
The tight ones and the Browns. Well, if you got a tight one, it's probably Brown anyway.
hey,
The Titans are getting 3.5 points at Cleveland. It's like a Civil War thing. It's the Southerners against the Northerners. Um, that's what it is. This is the Civil War Bowl. I'm going to take the North, Cleveland, giving up,
I took Tennessee.
giving up. Cleveland's giving up 3.5 points. Tennessee's getting 3.5 points. It's in Cleveland. Yeah. All right, we're on different sides of that one. New Orleans Saints against the Green Bay Packers. Packers are getting 2 points.
Getting 2 points?
Oh no, New Orleans are getting 2 points.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that was the right way. Okay.
Yeah. Jeez. Packers suck, right? The Packers suck, right? Don't they?
I mean, I'm a Bears fan, so I'm going to naturally say that. But I mean,
all right, I'm going to take the Saints.
I took the Packers.
I thought you just said
I don't bet my team allegiance. I don't do that. I'm not. I'm very against that. Matter of fact, for a long time, I wouldn't even bet on my team because, like, it was too much. So,
Carl's in a call from call the new Arizona resident. I think he's stuck there.
Is he still here?
No, I don't know. He was flying, but his plane got delayed by a day. I don't know what's going on with Carl. He could come in and let us know, but we won't let him get involved in his gambling stuff because we know he's had a problem. That's how he ended up working in a strip club all those years.
So did you pick New England or not New England? Did you pick New Orleans or Green Bay?
I picked New Orleans. That's what I picked.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then I started laughing because I picked Green Bay.
Fuck me. The Texans against the Jaguars. Houston against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's given up 9 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jacksonville -9.
Does Houston suck that much? Wow, that's a lot to give up. I'm gonna have to take the Texans as much as fucking Texas.
I took Jacksonville.
And giving up 9 points, you ballsy fucker.
I am. For a guy with one nut, I got a lot of balls.
Yeah, he just grew back his other nut. Buffalo Bills against the Washington Redskins. Commanders. Bills are giving up 6.5 points, and they're away in Washington. In your news story the other day with all the riots and stuff. This is a game I'm gonna take Buffalo, but I'm also gonna predict there's gonna be a fight, big time, and another person's gonna have to go to the hospital at this game. Definitely.
Man, I hope not. I hope people calm down.
That ain't gonna happen. Well, not like calls people like fucking destroying cities over football games or whatever.
Right. And that was 6.5 the spread on that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Atlanta
and Detroit.
Atlanta and Detroit. I feels like these games have already happened already. Detroit is giving up 3 points. Wow, yeah. People are on the Detroit bandwagon, huh? That reflects people betting on Detroit rather than the quality of the team.
That's probably true. I do think that they're doing the best in the NFC North right now. I think the Lions are leading the division after 2 weeks.
Do I have I don't have a lion sound effect. I got to get a lion sound effect. Yeah, I'm going with Detroit. Detroit. You know why I'm going with Detroit?
Why?
Dave Landau, who Ian hates.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
He's a Detroit guy. Well, now
I
he's living in
am
Texas, so he's a Texas guy, but he
I
wasn't in
am
New York.
taking Atlanta.
Oh,
We got a
uh,
lot of this week. We got a lot of opposites.
good. So we won't be tied at the end
Yeah,
of this week.
we're in a dead heat right now.
No, I will be totally killing you by the end of this week. I will be like, I'll be like ready to, clinch the playoff berth, and you'll be like last place. Uh,
All right, so Carolina, Seattle.
that's a tough one, right?
What are you kidding me? This is my lock.
This is your lock.
This is my lock pick.
And you're going with Seattle because I'm going with Seattle.
I am going with Seattle.
It's not that I doubt the Seahawks are going to win, but 6, it makes it
So-
tough because 6 is, I could see 2 field goals, and it'll be a push.
So I actually went to the one of the strength and conditioning coach for the Seattle Seahawks is a guy named Grant Steen, and we literally grew up together, like up until my sophomore year in high school. I remember that dude every step, like elementary school, middle school. We were in the same classes the whole way through.
Ian is recommending that everybody go see Dave Landau. If you're in Myrtle Beach, go see him at Wonders Theater and the Comic Shop this weekend, because Ian loves it. I don't know if you know this. Ian is the biggest Dave Landau fan ever.
It's really nice of Ian to give a shout out to Dave like that and tell people to go to his show. That's really nice of you, Ian. Thank you.
Right. And remind us
appreciate
to keep plugging it. Yeah, definitely. Now, the Bears against the Chiefs. Bears are getting 12.5 points.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's still not a fucking enough. I'm taking the fucking Chiefs.
Yeah, me too.
That's where you put me, Chicago. You put me in a position that as a fan, I can't even take a bet with you motherfuckers at 12.5 point. Fuck off. I'm so mad at Chicago right now.
Ian says go see Landau and bring a tape measure. I guarantee he's bigger than 5 foot.
Dude, okay, that was pretty funny. You got to admit, that was goddamn funny.
That was good, but I guarantee he's bigger than 5'1".
Right.
He's definitely as big as Rogan.
God. Okay, so you also took Kansas City, correct?
Yeah. Wow, another big spread here.
Yeah.
Cowboys are giving up 12 points against the Cardinals. I fucking hate to take the Cowboys, but I got to take the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, me too. I did. I took the Cowboys. That's a smart bet. They're fucking killing it.
I hate them, and if they end up winning the Super Bowl, I can't. I'm gonna say something, and then they're gonna win the Super Bowl, and then I'm gonna have to stick to it, and that would fuck me. So I'm not gonna say it. But I will eat ass if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. I will eat ass.
Are we gonna be able? Can we put it on Pornhub or Brazzers or something?
I don't know. It depends on whose ass.
I mean, at least make a little money out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking. I would. I always have a cop out that I could like eat fried donkey. I call it donkey, and that's a jackass. And so that would get me out of it.
You want to eat
fried donkey?
You want to eat the ass of a guy named Jack?
No.
Jack Osborne, maybe?
No.
I bet you he'd let you.
No. Jack me off. Pittsburgh Steelers against Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry. Pittsburgh Steelers against the Raiders. 2.5 points. Steelers. Go with the Steelers.
Yeah, that's who I took.
Man, it seems like a lot more games. Did we add teams? The Eagles against Tampa Bay. Eagles are giving up 5 points. Eagles are winning that by fucking 50 points.
You're taking
I'm
Philly?
taking the Eagles. I told you, Eagles are Super Bowl bound. The Eagles are gonna
I'm taking Tampa Bay on that one.
Yeah,
taking
Eagles
Tampa
are
Bay.
Fucking kill those Cowboys. They're gonna be pecked to death. Now, Los Angeles Rams against Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are giving up 2.5 points.
Oh, 2.5. Okay.
I would never. You can never bet on the Rams, no matter how good they're doing or whatever. You could never bet on the Rams. Don't ever bet on the Rams. So I'm taking the Bengals.
All right. I also took the Bengals. All right. That's
Uh,
all of them.
don't we have Atlanta Falcons against Jaguars? Did we do that
No,
one?
no. Atlanta is playing Detroit. And the
Oh,
Jaguars.
this is the next week that
Yeah,
came up.
maybe. I'm guessing so. Is that Carl? I heard a pop.
That's called the man. Fresh in from it. Listen, Carl's a big shot now. He's like a fucking. He's he's like what do you call it? Like what do you call it? What do you call that when you're a big shot like Carl? He's like a national headliner. He performs with some of the greatest comedians who ever lived. He's a fucking egomaniac now. Good morning, Carl. National headliner. What are you listening on the radio? Turn your radio down, sir, caller.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt your picks going on.
I already we're done picking, and I'm gonna bury Willie this week. It's all about me.
Sounds good.
You don't pay attention to American football, do you, at all?
No, but I'll take one of your picks each week, and I'll bet some money on it.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I'm betting on the Jets to win it all.
You did it.
So I said what my lock was, but you didn't say what your lock was.
Yeah. My lock is because if my lock is gonna win, my lock is the 49ers over the Giants, but I am rooting for the Giants, which
all right, I'm marking that as your lock. It's good to see you, Carl. How was your trip?
Long. I got back late last night, so yeah, lots of traveling in a few days, and good fun. But I can barely talk, to be honest. My voice is pretty messed up.
Well, you're a cunt. Get off the stage. You like that? I'm Irish.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I got to say that with an Irish accent. You're bloody. Well, I can't do an Irish accent. You're a cunt.
Okay, thank you.
What now? The only Irishman between like New York and L.A. happened to be at your show and doesn't like you because your accent. Figured, haven't we let that go? That fucking.
He was a weird guy. I thought I was going to get kidnapped. It's a long story, that one. I don't know. Some weird thought. But it made things a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. So
I was thinking that if I were there, I would probably ended up going to jail assaulting that guy while you were.
No, there's no need for that. It's fine. It was fine. He apologized to me straight after, but then I realized it was weird because he had these workman's gloves on, and then I think he tried to kidnap me later, and I was saved. So
wow.
Yeah.
You saw him like after the show?
Yeah, he come in. He wasn't in the comedy show. He was staying outside, and he came in to apologize after. And then he was trying to get me to go and see his wife outside, and I was like, maybe. But I was so high and drunk. I was more high than I've ever been, except for the time in New York. I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll follow you outside. And then, yeah, Stanhope and Chad Shank saw it and came over and saved me from a kidnapping. So that was nice. I was like, yeah, actually, I don't now I realize other people think this is weird. I don't want to go outside with you.
Right.
So you and Stanhope are like best buddies now, right?
No.
You're gonna hang with him. You're gonna go. You're taking you on tour.
I mean, he
him?
saved your life.
He did save my life. Yeah, it's very. But I think he was only that brave.
Shank was there.
He did what?
He took a thorn out of your paw. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Mouse and a Lion fucking fable or whatever.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He took a thorn out of your paw.
It was a funny, but there's so many of those little funny moments that I can't even remember yet. First of all, I was drunk and high for most of the time in America. So there's that.
And jet lagged.
Jet lagged, dehydrated, tired, no sleep, everything. In the desert, Arizona was fucking hot, man. Tucson was the worst in terms of weather, but yeah, Bisbee was cooler, but it was, lots of good fun. And hopefully we'll be doing some more stuff next year.
Very, very, very jealous of you. I think, and not to but I put myself in that position and try to imagine like some great musician that I think is just like off the charts good, calling me up on stage, even if it's for an opening slot. That would be a memory that would never leave me, and I would still be high on it today.
It's cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's definitely cool. I mean, yeah, I was nervous before the show, but it felt fine doing it. It felt pretty normal, and it was good to hang. We had lots of time to hang and after parties and interesting things. So yeah, it's good fun. And Stanhope's a really nice guy, by the way. I know Hack on it. He said that before, I think last year, but a super nice guy.
I don't believe it. I promise you, if I were there, he'd be a dick to me.
Maybe
Doug Stanhope would be a dick to you.
Yes.
only because if Doug Stanhope is the dick to you, it's only because he's afraid you're gonna butt fuck him.
No, I think he would welcome that. I just think he thinks I'm like a super fanboy stalker, potential stalker type.
Right, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you meant by butt fucking. He doesn't realize that I'm that way with every comedian that I like.
Right.
It's not has nothing to do with him. It's if you're a great comedian, I love you. I love you. And
I don't want to butt fuck you.
And I heard him in one interview saying, because with Alice Cooper's guitar player was interviewing Stanhope, and he was talking about continuity in movies. And the guy said, "You know who would notice shit like that? Matt Napple from Mind Dog TV." And then Stanhope said, "You know what? I love my fans, but Matt Napple's the kind of guy like Attell. I could call up and say, 'Did I ever do this bit?' And he would remember every bit I ever did and be able to check me on that. So he thinks I have this encyclopedic knowledge of everything he's ever said. I just have a good memory. Remember little things he said. Anyway.
I mean, I think he's aware of you. You know what I mean? Like
he's aware of me to the point where he walked out on stage and said, "Matt Nappo, Mind Dog TV, what the fuck are you doing here?"
So you sat at the front. You sat at the front of a show.
Yeah, I did sit in front of the show. But not only is he aware of me, the whole crowd was aware of me, and they were like aware of me in a negative way. Like, you're gonna ruin this show, you dick. What'd you go sit up in the front for? So there's that. Anyway, I do think if I were there, his attitude would have been a little different. Which is, in a way, I'm glad I didn't go because I didn't want to ruin it for you. I'm glad you had that experience. I'm overjoyed. For me, on Friday night, I was sitting here. I didn't have a gig, and for some reason, it felt more fulfilling than if I had like the greatest gig in the world that night, knowing that you were on stage with these people. And I was following it, like I was hoping somebody would put a little bit of video, just him calling you up on stage, something like that. But for me, it was like Papa sitting home saying, "Oh, my boys won the Academy Award." It was
it's cute. I've got video of all the walk-ups and stuff and call-ups. I put a little bit on Twitter about the end. I think we were on stage at the end, but I was so hammered at that point. I've no idea what was happening. Andrus was trying to flog merch. Stanhope was trying to get people up together. Locals were jumping up. I don't know, but there's a little bit of video I put up on Twitter about that. But I'll get a load of stuff together. And Tom Konopka, by the way, a real man, Konopka. He fucking spent so much time with us, man. The day after the show, we were up at 8 a.m. for a 6-hour walk around Bisbee. 6 hours.
He texted me right after the show, and then texted me that morning that you were and he was taking pride in the moment too, because good for him. Yeah. I mean, Tom, what a fucking great guy! What a great guy.
He's been awesome the whole time for the last year or so, and he deliberately didn't come and see us the day before. He goes, "No, we'll come and see you after the show," and he did. As soon as we finished, he came up, and then spent so much time with us on the Saturday. Really looked after us.
Cool.
Very cool.
Good. Very cool.
Good guy. We went to the little farmer's market up in Warren near Bisbee, and bumped into Stanhope there. Actually, he went out to buy a singular tomato, and he was cooking. He was cooking lunch, so he came up to buy a tomato. But
I would never buy one tomato, even if I was cooking and I only needed one tomato. It's like I guess I have to buy 3 just to kind of
Well,
make it.
it's quite. I think
No,
he's
I
never
agree with
brought
that.
anything
I'm
there,
the
but he goes,
same
"I
way.
brought something." But it was just a funny moment there. Johnson was up there. Craig Johnson was there.
So are you exhausted now? Are you like
Yeah.
spent? How long
No,
will it take?
I'm more tired from traveling. It's long fucking the different flights. I took a flight to London, then to Manchester. This is my 6th flight in like a week, and it
Right.
just the waiting around and that, you know, on top of everything else. But I'm already getting shit done today. I was up early today, organizing some things. But yeah, it's nice. It's good. There will probably be some cool stuff next year, and I
You
need
know,
to work on a bunch of more stuff this
you
time.
should just fuck that country and come over and be a shitty American. Be a shitty
Yeah,
American.
I like it. It's a good. Yeah, I
Fuck
already
it.
thought about that while I was out there. To be honest, so I'm going to spend more time out there.
Yeah.
And next time I come out will be for longer as well. But I'm just
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
work on that now. So yeah, hopefully we'll get around.
Tell us about Kat. Was she? Because I would think, first ever performance in front of people playing guitar. I
So
know she sang karaoke
I
before.
didn't know. Me and Billy Way Davis were the first people at the Shady Dale hours before the gig. He was doing admin all afternoon. I was getting high and drunk, and then Steve and Kat came in, and she was carrying a guitar. I was like, "What's that?" And yeah, they said, "Oh, I'm going up." So I think Chaley gave her the guitar. She had to go and get that, and then yeah, she was just happy and really good, and she got better through the performance. Like at first, it's a bit weird, I
Nervous.
think.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
but
nervous.
for everyone, but she was good anyway, and through the song, she got better and better. I've got a really good picture just after that, I think, or just after I went up or something with
Very
us two.
cool.
And I'm sure there's lots and lots more pictures and little clips to pop out.
Well,
I've
she
got like
won't come
1,000
on here to
pictures.
perform, so
You'll have to work on
there.
her. You'll have to
Yeah.
work on her. I can hear her pop.
Yeah, we got a guest coming in, Sam Bloomstone, who is a
Right.
comedian from New York City. Are you aware of New York City? Have you heard of it?
I've noticed that like York.
It's in between the places
Yeah,
where I know you perform
I
in
don't
like
know.
London and Manchester and like the
Yeah,
West Coast. It's right in between that.
kind of. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, kick me out.
All
I'll see you
right,
tomorrow.
I'm gonna kick you out,
Good
and
seeing you, Carl.
See you,
yes,
William.
see you
Bye.
later. And stop in again, Carl. We miss you. I mean, I know it's difficult to do it from Arizona, but any chance you get, come on back. We want to talk more about this. So,
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
all right, see you later. All right,
All right.
now, the aforementioned Sam Bloomstone, who is a New York City-based comedian, actor, writer, high energy kind of storyteller guy, and apparently doesn't ever come out this way. But he's here now. Welcome, Sam. Good morning, and thanks for being on the show. I think you're muted. Your mic is off. We're not hearing. No mic.
Yeah.
Oh, something. Talk. No, we heard something for a second there, and then no. Well, this is not good. Willie, get over to his house and set up his mic.
I was not given his address. I don't know.
I don't know. Your
Um,
mic is off. I don't know
is
why I can't unmute. Yeah,
did you check maybe your settings on your computer? Are you on a
yeah.
laptop?
Check your settings somewhere. You can hear us? Obviously you can hear. You can't hear me? Your mic is not on. A mic back to Cowboys and Indians. Your mic. If I
Right.
yell louder.
My guess is
Your guess is what?
my guess is that because I think he's on a laptop, and some laptops you have to like actually go into the settings and turn the microphone on.
Yeah. If you go into the bottom set, I can't even if he can't hear us.
He can't hear us. He said, "No, I can hear you."
Oh, you can hear it. In the bottom,
Yeah.
there's a thing that says
I can read
settings,
lips
and
a little bit.
oh, good. You can choose your mic and video. Well, the video obviously you have on, but in the settings thing, you can choose your mic. You can just make it. How about a phone? You want to? Can you contact us just on phone? Like get off your laptop and just come in on a phone?
Awesome sauce.
Read his lips. Come on, do the interpretation for me here.
Yeah, he says yes, I can do that.
I know.
This could be a fun bit too. We can just mouth things and I can.
Oh no, the technical issues. There was one day when Robert was on the road and he was calling from, and we had 8 minutes of technical issues. Let's see here.
Oh yeah,
Sam.
that's him coming
Is that
in from
better?
his phone.
All right, we did it.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, we just lost him. His phone went dead. Battery died in the middle of that. Up now it's like okay, you're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Love it.
There we
I'm
go.
sorry about that, gentlemen.
No,
I'm
the technical stuff adds to the comic relief.
Yeah,
of the
believe me,
program.
technical gaps on this show are aplenty.
Yeah. So, welcome, New York-based comedian. I'm in Shoreham, Long
thank
Island.
you.
Really,
Where are you in Long Island?
Shoreham, exactly. Shoreham. I'm almost in the Hamptons on the North Shore.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, well, it's very country out here, very rural. Not a lot of comedy clubs. We have Governors, who are on Governors Network right now. They have 3 clubs on Long Island, and we have Sticks and Stones in the Hamptons. You don't come to any of them because you're just like a New York guy, and you go north to Orange County, so you avoid us. So.
I mean, I would love to come out to Long Island. Throw me on some Long Island show. I was just there last night for not for comedy purposes. I had my grandma's birthday. Not that she knew what was going on, but we just went out. But I had a show after at Greenwich Village Comedy Club last night. So I'm doing more New York shows, but sometimes I'll pepper in the Long Island if I'm thrown on the lineup.
Yeah, Queens and Brooklyn have a lot of new places that aren't necessarily comedy clubs, but have comedy shows happening, and there's a lot more opportunity there than there ever was before. Long Island, it's still a lot of people are making their own opportunities in pizza places, barbershops, crazy.
2 years ago, I was doing a show at this place in Little Italy, Bella Ciao. It literally looked like where someone would be whacked in the basement in Goodfellas. But the guy was like, "Oh yeah, take it." His name was Marcelo. He didn't speak any English, and he thought my name was Devin. I was like, "Yeah, it's not. It's Sam." But
So
that was
that.
that was the last show and the first show I'll ever throw in Little Italy. So.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about you. When did you first decide that comedy was going to be for you?
Yeah, so I had moved to the city after I went to Lehigh, just like an hour outside of Philly, and moved to New York and started doing improv and acting classes, groups, things of that nature. And I was just like, I got to jump into stand up. So started my first show at around 25 and haven't looked back since then. The first show I ever did, it wasn't really a show. I was the only one doing comedy. It was a comic monologue slam. Think of that scene from like 21 Jump Street almost, the slam poetry one.
yeah,
So like,
yeah.
yeah. So I go up, everyone's doing like dramatic scenes from movies. So I'm like pulling up the flyer on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong place. And then I did pretty well because I was the only one to do any like comedic material. But somebody was doing like a scene from like Saving Private Ryan. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? This is my intro to comedy. So that was like, I did pretty well that night, but I was the only one doing comedy. And then, started ripping all the New York clubs and getting momentum that way. But I've been, working around the city, just trying to build up my act right now, not get canceled.
Well, I don't think you can get canceled until people are jealous of you're big enough that everybody looks at you and thinks, well, I want his position, and I think I can, if I can find something dirt on him, I can knock him down a notch and take his place. That's I think that's the mindset of people who are behind canceling people.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think there's a concern for like kind of a pre-cancel sort of, so to speak,
Yeah.
to where like you might say something and step in some shit that makes it to where like it's not gonna you know what I mean? You won't even get off the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
I started a petition to cancel myself. And
How many signatures do you have?
16.
His wife is 15 of them for every year they've
Yeah.
been married.
But by the way, she bought me a car. Did I tell you?
There we go.
Anyway, yeah. So that whole cancel stuff. But it's funny you bring that up because you are a storyteller, and storytellers are under fire right now by the Associated Press's fact checking comedians. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a story.
Did you ever lie?
I've never lied on stage. Everything I said last night, 100% accurate.
Right.
Yeah, I
See, we just canceled them just like that.
just lost it.
Oh, you're back.
I have people come up to me after my shows and be like, did that really happen? The punchline? I'm like, no, I made it up. I wouldn't be a punchline if it actually happened because you're not funny and that's how your life goes. If I just took things that happened in your life and threw them on stage, you have to embellish. So definitely use a lot of lies with my family to make things happen.
I think they need to put a plaque in front of underneath the comedy store or any place, any comedy clubs on the marquee that people lie on stage, and then it's okay.
Yeah,
because I go with the assumption that stories are embellished or sometimes they're outright fabricated. Listen, but we're talking about Bert Kreischer before. Bert Kreischer made his career or grew his career off the Machine story.
Yeah.
All of that was made up. He never even fucking went to fucking Russia. I know this. It's an assumption, but it's a strong
that was
assumption.
you.
No, it wasn't me. But Rogan asked, when he started to tell the story, he said, I went to Russia, and Rogan's first instinct was to say, what side of the road did they drive on there? And he said, oh, I should know that, but I just don't remember. Like, come on, dude. If you got to a country that drives on the other side of the road, you would remember. So let's just admit that you're just telling us a story now. Go ahead, continue. But don't tell us it really happened because you never went there.
No, of course. But he's such a good, I like that Machine story, obviously. And he grabs you in and, and
he's allowed to tell it. He's a comedian.
Yeah, you kind of submit to the fact that you're like, all right, this could be true. This guy's a little out there. But
suspension of disbelief. Like when you go to a movie, you don't think that everything in that movie was real. I mean, obviously, some movies are just like over the top, but you suspend your disbelief in order to enjoy the entertainment of it. So
here's a good example of that. You know that movie Miracle, obviously.
About the hockey team?
The hockey team. You remember the guy Mike Eruzione who scored the winning goal?
Right.
That whole thing. When I was a little kid, and this is just a perfect example of movies embellishing. Because they were pretty mean to him in the movie, like, oh, Mike Eruzione doesn't have it. So the real hockey player, Mike Eruzione, came to my school to speak. I was a Boston hockey kid, so he was speaking at an assembly, and I raised my hand. I was like, hey, they really doubted you in that movie, Mr. Eruzione. Was that like how it worked? And he was like, what a dumb question. It's a movie. Next question. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow. So
wait, you were okay. He came to your school. Right?
Yeah. This was
what grade were you in? How old were you?
I was probably 10 or 11.
Wow, he's a bully. He's a bully. He's beating up on kids.
Yeah,
I'm sure so many 10, 11 Boston kids have been like, they really doubted you in the movie, Mike. How'd you overcome it in real life?
So you grew up in Boston?
Yeah, just outside of Newton.
Now, why? Because Boston has a thriving comedy scene. Why New York instead of Boston?
I mean, I was already living in New York. Like, I didn't move to New York for comedy purposes. I just kind of picked it up as I was already in New York. I've had it in my mind, but like, I've actually never done comedy in my home city. I've tried to get on like the I guess I did Boston Comedy Shop once, but or Boston Comedy Club, but I would love to do more Boston stuff, I've listened to all those podcasts on everything like Boston in the 80s, 90s, that type of comedy. So it seems like there's a lot of vibrant places down there as well. So I definitely need to check those out.
Right. Any desire or curiosity to get out and go to places like Austin or LA?
Absolutely. I have a couple really good friends, comics in LA, so I'm trying to visit them and do some shows out there end of the year. And yeah, I would kill to do Comedy Mothership. That club looks just
Well,
like
well,
comedy heaven for comedians.
don't read too much into this because I am a married heterosexual, but you are a very good-looking guy.
Oh, thanks.
And LA, even if you sucked at comedy, if you look good enough, they're welcoming to you. They like pretty people out there. They don't like ugly people.
Yeah.
That's why Will failed out
Well,
there.
thank you.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No, I think you have the one of two comedy looks for guys in LA. Will
The old
You
shit
have
hat?
I'm not saying you're not a good looking dude, but I'm saying there's like the TikTok pretty boy. I'm not saying I'm either of these. The TikTok pretty boy bullshit, and then there's like the actual comics who like dress a little grungier. So
Yeah.
you definitely fit that pool. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a compliment if it didn't come off that way.
That's fine. Listen, Robert Klein told me I look like Himmler. So
I did. I forgot about that.
that was his first line to me. He goes, "You look a little like Himmler, a little intimidating. I'm feeling like maybe I should, get in the oven or something." So
like teens or 20s or 30s.
yeah. So LA is more. It's more full of comedians who are looking not to make a living in stand-up, but to be in television and movies.
I feel the same way.
New York is the place where you hustle. They say New York is the place you go to get good. LA is the place you go to get famous. Are you one of these guys in New York who goes from club to club in one night? Like we'll go to several clubs, several stages.
I mean, it's kind of just how the schedule lies. Like last night, I was coming from a family birthday, so I had one show last night at Greenwich Village. But like sometimes I'll have one or two spots a night. I'm just trying to book as many spots as possible, obviously. But I love the going uptown, downtown, back to midtown. That's a real New York night of comedy. So
yeah,
just trying to get 1,000 refills of that.
Are you a subway guy, or would you are you a scooter guy? You a walker guy? I mean,
definitely not a scooter.
not a scooter guy.
I mean, I'm Jewish, so I feel like me doing activities on the way to a gig is like the number one way I'm gonna get. Like I'm gonna break my leg before I show up to a show.
Yeah,
the second I get on a city bike, I'm gonna fall over. But yeah, I'm usually just doing the subway. Like I can't spend $100 a night on Ubers. I would literally be be losing so much money on comedy.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the reason I got out of stand-up comedy when I was young, because every gig was costing me like $250. And it was like, it costing me more than that because I had to take the night off from my band, which was making $200 a night. So it was like a major financial loss to just keep pursuing it. And the idea that it's probably going to take 5 or 10 years before I ever break even on this. And I can't afford to every week be spending $1,500 to get good at this. It's not like a college education, but it's as expensive as a college education. And there's no like student loans for it. I'm going to be a comedian. Can I borrow $100,000 for the next 5 years to get good? Now networking.
I'm here asking for a 0% stake for $3 million in my comedy career.
Yeah, there you go. In New York, it's very cliquey. I'm noticing this because I've been having a lot of New York comedians on, and the networking part of it is important, but I think being part of a clique is also important and not necessarily a positive thing. What's your take on that? And are you okay with cliques? Are you by nature a team player, clicky?
I am not in a clique. I'm not opposed to being invited into a clique.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like me and you're like, oh my God, hang out all the time and come on the road with me, and be like, okay, sign me up. But
All right.
like, I won't name names, but I see, ex comedian brings some comedians, like up and coming comedians, and then they just do like 6 or 7 cities together. Like, that's awesome. I have a couple friends who are, in those different cliques. And it seems awesome, like super supportive. They're all getting, material from it, great clips, and experience. Um, Unfortunately, I'm not in one of those, but it's great to see other headlining comedians helping out younger, up and coming comedians, so to
Yeah,
speak.
I'm wondering how it is that you get into clicks, or what kind of personality trait, because obviously almost every comedian, and not and maybe I shouldn't paint with such a broad brush, but I think most comedians are in it because they have this kind of introverted writing comedy and being up on a stage talking
Hmm.
one to many, as opposed to being one on one. Sometimes one on one conversations can feel awkward to a lot of people,
Yeah.
socially awkward. What is the character trait that helps become a schmoozer, and that kind of getting into a clique or being accepted by everybody?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I for my day job, I do work at a financial tech company. I'm on the sales team, so I've been in sales
Oh,
for,
sales.
8 years or so. So I apply that to the comedy schmoozing world to some extent. So, you know, one thing I do like to do is, I'm sure I don't do this to every comedian because I know it'll piss them off. And if I did it to you in a club, you'd be like, dude, shut up. But I love writing bits for other comics, especially if I have a bit that I wrote that I don't think is going to work for me, but I think it would work for a friend. Like, I'll talk that through with friends if they want to use it. Awesome. Some comedians are like, dude, I write my own material. Don't even look at me. So like, you got to walk the line there. Um, I tried to pitch Jim Gaffigan a joke once, and he laughed at the setup, but then he walked away before the punchline. So
Wow.
I was like, no, 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 wait, come back. But yeah, it's just be friendly.
He
Like,
had to
I
go
just
get a
try
hot
not to be
pocket.
a dick.
What'd you say, Willie?
He said Jim walked away. I said he had to go get a hot pocket.
Yeah, yeah. Now your mic is lower than normal.
Did I hit him? I don't know.
I don't know. It's not like it's off. It's just generally you're loud, now you're soft, and we're fine with that. But you are a natural, Willie. You are a natural networker and a person that is very social in this. What do you think about that? You know, what does it take to? Is it just being open to people? Is it
I
part of?
mean, in my experience, at least in the scenes that I've been in, it's a lot of I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. You know what I mean? If you got a room or
Yeah.
of a spot or whatever, even if I'm talking to another booker who's looking to fill a show, especially if I'm not available, I'll throw a name on. I love getting people connected, hooking people up. Maybe you got a certain theme for your show, and I know somebody that's got some jokes that'll fit right into that. I mean, you know, um,
Yeah.
the thing that I've noticed is that if I'm if I'm if I'm kind of negotiating deals that benefit other people, then stuff just kind of comes to me. But when
Yeah.
I try and make my stuff happen or get my foot in there, I always I feel like I'm running into the door jam or like
Yeah, I get it.
some weird energy field thing happens. So I've kind of shifted more to what can I do to help other people, because I think in like in the grand scheme of things, that is actually what's going to help myself, because I'm
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
putting that energy out there, and eventually that energy will come back to me in a natural way that I don't have to force.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I think you're right about that. I think sometimes those are the way. And I don't want to get all fucking metaphysical here, but I think you do open
Right.
doors so good things happen to you when you
Yeah.
reach out to help other people. Uh, Going back to this idea, and now not necessarily cancel culture, but walking the line, trying not to outrage people. We had Dave Landau on yesterday. Dave is a guy who, and Ian hates Dave. Well, we'll say that one more time. Ian in the chat room hates Dave Landau. Um, he's a guy who is really an enigma to me because he's his comedy, if you just saw his stand-up comedy, you would assume that this guy is on the left politically. He says a lot of his stories are including being open and empathetic towards the LGBT, all the letters and trans people and all that stuff. In his comedy, he seems like he's on the left, but he's aligned with far right people, and all he wants to do is make people laugh. He doesn't want to outrage people and offend people. As a storyteller, do you have to kind of think about those things, like how do I make this, if there's anything in here that might suggest to people that this is where I am politically and I don't want to polarize the crowd? Do you think about that when you're writing material or not? Because if you do, that is the worst part of cancel culture, is the part that you have to think about that when writing.
Hmm. Yeah, no, you hit it on the head. I mean, I literally had a situation last night with this. There were like three comics that made Holocaust jokes, and they all hit. They were all funny jokes, and the audience loved them. And the comedian before me was this German girl, and she made like two Holocaust jokes at the end of her set, and everyone laughed. And I thought they were funny. They were okay. And then I went up and I made a Palestinian joke that always smashes. It's one of my favorite and well written jokes. And the crowd was like, and I was like, "Oh, you guys love the Holocaust joke from the German girl, but God forbid a white guy does a Palestinian joke." You're like, "Oh, Jesus, guy, I don't know, guy. Oh, whoa, look at this guy." So I was just, I didn't want to get mad at the crowd, but I was just like, "Are you guys fucking kidding me?" You were like, "Oh my God, that swastika bit, killer."
Yeah.
He's like, "What'd you say about Palestine? Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on with this crowd?"
Yeah.
So there's definitely things, I would say there's definitely some things I can't get away with that other comics can for X, Y, and Z reasons. So I got to be a
Yeah.
little careful when writing with that, but
That's so fucking
it
weird.
does fuck up the process for sure.
Yeah, well, that Holocaust was a knee slapper, I got to tell you, man.
Oh my God. Oh
uh, I don't
Dude,
know.
that was funnier than the bit I heard last night.
Yeah, it's just so weird that we have to really be on guard for not offending people. I think you have a right to be offended, but you don't have a right to tell me about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The old way would be you just get up and walk out. If something really bothers you that much, just leave. Or as they used to say, just change the channel. But now we feel like we have to voice it, and not only tell it to the person that we're angry at for making that joke, but get other people on our side and rally people to our cause. Like, let's get this guy. He pissed me off. You gotta, if you like me,
Find out where he works and fire him.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
You
definitely.
brought up a really good point about what people do in that time. Like, if you like me, you gotta like send hate towards that person. That's some of the most bananas like thinking, in my opinion. That
Yeah.
if you're my friend, you have to hate what I hate or whatever. You know what I mean? Everything across the board. Like, that's crazy.
Right. Now, Sam, on your website, I'm noticing there are no tour. You have bio, video, photos, contact, but you don't put up like dates and where you're going to be performing.
Oh yeah, so that would be, I need to update them for October. That's on like my Instagram, my link tree. I'm gonna throw them on my website today, actually.
Yeah,
But
marketing is We were talking about this with Sarah Talamash yesterday.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I want to say she's part of a clique, and I think it's in a good way. She's part. She's got this whole southern Manhattan area where people definitely become cliquey. But we were talking about um, the comedian's job has changed. Used to be your job was just to go up and make people laugh in a comedy club. Now it's all about marketing, administration, and all this kind of stuff. Being in sales, you probably have some maybe a leg up on this stuff. But how much time do you have to spend doing this stuff and creating
I
stuff to
mean,
keep people?
I know I have to play the game more so than I already am in terms of like clips and TikTok and filming sketches so I can get my social media, blah, 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 blah. And I really hate it. It's really frustrating. And it's just, I want to do comedy and focus on comedy. I like writing like sketches and features and pilots and all that jazz, but like stand up wise, I just want to go to the show, do my jokes, come home, write more, and try them out at clubs. I don't want to have to be like, oh my god, I gotta post a clip on Instagram and to show people on like my new stuff. And it's like no, because then with every joke you see on my Instagram or like TikTok, I have posted that version, and then I have about 30 better versions of
Right.
all those jokes. Because it's like, oh, I got this joke down, I got an applause break, great, I'm posting it. And then it's like, oh no, I did way better, and I added a whole other bit and made it better. And it's like, but then I feel like the joke is just obsolete online. So it's just it feels like a never ending cycle of just like, oh, I got to get my name out there, and I
Well,
need to focus more on it, but
I
I'd like
think
to
part of
focus
it is
just more.
if I'm not if I don't post content today, the world will forget about me. I don't want to
I
be
mean, there's
forgotten
some
about.
truth to that, though.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a little
It's
truth
there.
to that. Oh yeah, yeah. Because I mean, think, we got to say goodbye to Govs. We're at our
Oh,